just going to, so I'm going to record this one. Here we have 2, lost the example. Okay, it looks like it was maybe 2 sine theta cosine theta, radical equals radical 2 cosine theta. Okay. I started writing the word radical. Well, this is how we spell radical, just so we know, okay? But I should have written the symbol. Okay, my bad. Radical 2 cosine theta. Okay, we want to solve, I might have actually done this question now that I think about it, but whatever, I could post it twice. 2 sine theta cosine theta equals root 2 cosine theta. If I want to solve this one, is Aiden, if it's a question about this example specific, shout it out. Otherwise, I'll answer you in 1 second. Let me just finish this. Unless it's about this, you could just shout out. But what I want to do to solve this is I'm going to end up factoring out a greatest common factor. This is similar to a couple other examples that we did. If you look at numbers 1 through 6, in the original packet, I believe. I'm going to glance at it so I could tell you exactly what numbers. But it's similar, actually it's very similar to number 3, which was 2 cosine theta sine theta equals cosine theta. So if you watch that example video, that should be pretty helpful. And then another one that should be very helpful was 12a. 12a is very similar in 12b. That was 2 sine theta cosine theta plus cosine theta equals 0. So we saw those. And another one that would be helpful that's a lot like it is actually number 15. Number 15 was secant theta cosecant theta plus radical 2 cosecant theta equals 0. It's very similar. So look, 15, which you should have, copied into your notes just recently, is very, very similar, but it was secant theta cosecant theta plus, of course I don't really have that much room, plus root 2, lost it, root 2 cosecant theta equals 0. Yeah, so it's almost exactly the same. So first and foremost, on an example like this, okay, and I'll link, if you look underneath this video, underneath it, there's a list of all the examples and you could see videos of any of those. You're going to get this equal to 0. So 2 sine theta cosine theta. If I want 0 on this side, I need to subtract this over. Anytime we want to solve by factoring, whether it's a quadratic type of factoring, or if it is even greatest common factor factoring, you want to get this equal to 0. So now I have minus 2 cosine theta, or root 2, sorry. You can't combine these things, and that's okay. You can't combine them. That's fine. Just leave it the way it is. And then from here, we're going to factor out the greatest common factor. And then it's just really like 1, 2.5 steps after this. So my greatest common factor is the biggest thing both parts of my equation have in common. So we're almost done. So here's one part. I'm going to draw a rectangle around it. Here's another part. I'm going to kind of draw an oval around it. The biggest thing they both have in common is cosine theta. I know they both have a 2, but radical 2 and regular 2 are actually not the same, okay? Radical 2 and regular 2 are not the same. So cosine theta, I'm going to factor out. We can't just divide by it. You're throwing away answers. Then we have 2 sine theta minus, and remember, I went over this type of factoring when we went over the AC method and grouping. And when you factor out a common factor, you are undistributing. And when you distribute, you think you multiply, right? So when we unfactor or factor out, or undistribute or factor out, we divide it out. And that's when I showed you guys how we could kind of divide and reduce with the pretzel. Again, that only applies if you have plus or minus signs in your numerator. Reduce, reduce. So you're left with 2 sine theta minus square root 2 equals 0. From this step, if you have something factored, I don't need those parentheses, but sometimes they help with the visual. You set whatever's inside of each of your parentheses. You set each factor, and you could really worry about the inside, okay? Even if it was to a power, the inside is the part that matters to save a few steps. you're going to set each inside equal to 0 and solve separately. So we'll have cosine theta equals 0, and we'll have 2 sine theta minus square root 2 equals 0 as well. Then we'll get theta equals something over here. There's actually going to be 2 answers for that one. And then here we'll add square root 2 to the other side first. Then we'll divide by 2 second. And for this, you're going to actually get 2 answers as well. And you'll have 4 answers to this all together. I don't know if I really need to finish this with you, but cosine of theta, which is the x value on the unit circle, x value on the unit circle, where is the x? X moves us left and right, but where is the x 0? How far left and right do you move? You move 0 left and right. So you're going to be up top and down on bottom because we have to find what part on the circle did we not have to move left or right for? What angles are those? Okay, because I believe that's what the question asked you for on the assignment that you're referencing. And then here and here, so if I call this A, call this B, well, theta equals A, theta equals B. I'm not going to tell you what those are. You're going to look them up, figure it out, or use your brain. Next, sine is equal to positive root 2 over 2. Well, where is sine positive? Sine's negative down there. It's negative down there. So those are out. So sine is positive up here and up here. Root 2 over 2 is the one I refer to as medium. So which angles are the ones that we go up, because sine is the y value, up the medium amount. Not up a little bit, not up a lot, but up a medium amount. It's that angle, not up a little, up medium, not up a lot, medium. So what are the 2 angles that are up medium amounts? So there's an angle here, and there's another angle here. And really there's infinite angles in both spots, but we're only solving, I believe, between 0 and 2 pi. So if this was angle C and this is angle D, well, then those are your answers. Okay, so this one's not fully done, but I hope that you are able to finish this on your own. So if you think you could finish this by yourself, put a thumbs up on it. And if you think, I still don't know what to do at this point, if you are still confused at this point, put a thumbs down so I know what people need help with. Okay?